fellas, men of all ages, if you don't realize nothing else, I need you to realize this right now. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about you, your problems, your feelings, the fact that your goldfish died yesterday, the fact that you lost your job today, the fact that your car broke down. You get the idea. Nobody cares really what you go through as a man. I really got solid on this realization. It became kind of funny to me because it's right in alignment with this new day in society where men are constantly told to be emotionally available and more in touch with their feelings and more sensitive and yada, yada, yada. But in reality, it's actually very counterproductive for the man himself in two different ways. Number one, it represents a form of ingenuine advice because it tells men to get in touch with their feelings and be more sensitive, soft, so on and so forth. But in reality, the same men are ridiculed as being weaker than our older generations, like our fathers, our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers who got up and went to work and worked from sun up to sundown, no matter how they felt, no matter what they were going through internally in their minds and in their spirit, that did what they needed to do to provide for their families, no matter what they had going on internally. Like they could have been crashing and burning inside, but it didn't matter because they had a wife to take care of, they had children to feed, had bills to pay, so on and so forth. But going back to this ingenuine advice, in today's time, men are told that we need to go to therapy, we need to be more sensitive with each other, we need to be more sensitive with women. But when we do this, like I said, we're made to seem weak or less than, as if men don't have feelings, as if we don't have problems. We're encouraged by the world to operate with this callousness towards life and what we deal with, like our fathers, grandfathers, and great-grandfathers, in terms of providing for others, when it comes to providing for others. But when we need to have that callousness for ourselves, to have the upper hand in our situations, our relationships within life, whether it be with other men, our peers, whether it be with our woman, whether it be with our family, whoever it may be, in the workplace, wherever it is. When we want to use this callousness for our own purposes, now we consider toxically masculine. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a reverse psychology. We being made to be victims. And that's just one way. The other side of that coin, it's against the very nature of a man to sit around and wallow in his feelings and his emotions concerning a particular situation or a season in life that he may be dealing with, because we think logically as men, which means we're more solution-based. So it's more of a point A to point B type thing. If I got an issue in front of me, what's the nearest solution there? What's the nearest advancement or step forward I can take to solving it? That's why I say that advice is also counterproductive for the man, because his nature is not to move within his feelings and his emotions. It's to move in logic. Because when a man comes up on a situation, if he doesn't properly use his logic to view the situation in totality, he may misjudge and make the wrong decision. And that's why I'm putting emphasis on the fact that staying away from his feelings and leaning into his logic is the best way for a man to operate. As cold as it may seem, as callous as it may seem, in the scope of today's society, the perspective of today's society as what a man should be and how a man should operate. But that's okay, because as a man, when you do make a wrong decision, it's nobody there to take responsibility for that for you. You have to take accountability for that. So therefore, you need to stand more firm on your logic and use that to make the decisions in your life, and use that to decide how you interact with people and interact with your world in general, and stay away from your feelings, because like the title of the video, the point of this video, nobody cares. They don't care for real. They asking for typically one of three reasons. One, they want to use your problems to feel better about their own misery. Everybody in the world has problems, men and women, so if we look at the scope of all the people in the world, typically most people, they can't face their problems or face their misery head on. They can't look at it for exactly what it is, exactly for what role they may have played in bringing it to themselves, or what needs to be done to rectify the situation. The next best thing for them is to find a man like you, somebody that the world considers to be pretty much a robot, that should, even in the face of his problems, should be able to move through them flawlessly. They find somebody like you that has a certain situation that you may be struggling in or having a hard time with, and they listen to you talk about it just so they can internally feel better about whatever they're dealing with. And this goes for men and women. Men and women will do this to you. But what I'm highlighting here is they're not listening to your problems to actually give you a solution or give you some feedback that can help you move forward. They just want to feel better about themselves. Number two, they want to use your private life against you. I actually had a situation where I was dealing with this woman at one point, and just naturally being intimate with her and, getting to know her, I shared certain parts about my life, my family, and the deeper parts of me, the stuff that people don't really know. And after we fell out and stopped talking a while down the road, she ended up telling all this to another guy, and an incident occurred where this guy used that information to psychologically abuse one of my family members. And as low down as there was of her to do that, it was my fault because I allowed myself to operate under the misconception that even her, a girl I was intimate with, that she actually cared. I actually thought that she valued the fact that I was sharing what I was going through in its deepest form with her, but that was my mistake as a man, because this was a girl I had talked to for less than a year. And for me to share such sensitive information with her was a big mistake on my part. But it all came back to me believing that the world cared about me as a man. Number three, people typically want to know about your life and what you're going through because you have something that they need, and they have to trick you to get it. So the way they do that is to get close. They listen to what you're going through, what you're dealing with, and they, in a backdoor kind of way, they automatically equate that as access to whatever it is you may have. And it's typically like status. People want to be around you, and they want to have connection with the people that you know, the places that you can go, get into, whatever, XYZ. And the way that they do that is they make it seem as if they actually care about what you're dealing with. And the way that these people kind of expose themselves is that they always want to hear about your problems, but they typically never offer any solutions, So it's like you really just talking, you're not getting any feedback, you're not getting any life spoken into you on how to remove yourself from the situation, because this person is not there to give you life. They there to take life. They blood sucking, and they want to put the blinders over your eyes to make you let your guard down, which is a critical disaster as a man, because once that guard is down, typically people can come in and not only leech off of your posture, your stance, your status in the world, but they also can alter how you view your own environment, your own aura around you, because the way they might come in and operate with a certain person you have a connection with may not align with the way you operate, but it can make you misjudge that person and possibly destroy a relationship that you hold near and dear just because of their agenda. And just like I've been saying in this video, Us as men, real men, we solution-based. We work off logic. So right now I'm about to give you 3 ways that you can counterbalance the fact that nobody cares. Number 1 is to own it. Just own it. Accept it. Accept it as a fact of life, as a reality that you must operate in. And the thing that's gonna happen when you do that, it becomes a superpower for you, because if me as a man, I already think logically and I wanna get to a solution, and on top of that, I accept the fact that the people around me in my environment don't care about me within my issues within life, the quicker that I'll shed off the need for their validations, for their feelings, for their perspectives, their opinions on how I need to solve my problem. So therefore it streamlines that process for me, which consequently makes me a more effective, respectable, and firm man. Number 2 might sound a little cliche, but it's a cold, hard fact, and that's that you have to move in silence. And what I mean by that is you got to keep the things that you hold nearest and dearest to you, whether they be past situations, current, or future, especially future. You got to keep them to yourself, because a lot of people don't got your best intentions. Like I've been saying, they just want to hear what you got going on and what you got planned just for the hell of hearing it. Like they don't have nothing valuable to contribute to it. So therefore you need to keep it to yourself, and one of my favorite artists, Brent Fayez, he has a song called Price of Fame. And on one of the lines it says, "And if you're comfortable, don't let no one know, because they'll F it up." And that's so true. Like, if you let people know that you're comfortable or happy at a certain stage in your life with the way things are going, whether it be the living situation you have or the woman that you're dealing with, whatever you're doing in life, it's a lot of people out here that will come in your life and try to sabotage that just because they don't have it, So your best bet is to move in silence and keep it away from them, because they can't destroy what they don't know about. And last but not least, that's to use an extreme amount of discernment with who you consider to be close to you in your life. And this can go all the way from family to friends to associates to your workplace, whatever. Because at any of those stages, you have to be very careful about who you allow within your circle. Because like I said, people have different agendas and they can come in all shapes and sizes to where they may get past your barrier because they look a certain way to you initially. And then as time goes along, you start to see how they came with an agenda. They came with a certain mission in mind to benefit from you, but to provide no value. So, because like the title says, nobody cares. Nobody cares. So it's very important for you as a man to be very clear on your principles and values, your foundation, what you stand firm on, and use that as a litmus test, as a screening mechanism to evaluate the people that you allow into your life. The way you fine tune this screening mechanism is to just sit back and observe. And this can work for somebody that's a family member that you've known all your life. And it can also work for somebody that's just an acquaintance or in your workplace or whatever, somebody that you may spend a minimal amount of time with. Because what it does for you is it allows you to keep yourself detached from these people, but it also allows you the vision to see who these people really are, because people will typically show you exactly who they are, both passively and actively. But you have to take the time to sit back and watch them, So from there, once you get that analysis, you can know how close you need to keep them or how far away you need to push. But fellas, as you know by now, nobody cares for real. The world don't care like that, like they make it seem, you know. But it's all good though, because I care. And here, I'm going to always give you the steps you need to get to that action, because when you get to that action, it don't matter who care, because you going to get stuff done. You going to make everything right for yourself and for those around you that truly deserve it, because you don't need the validation of the world. You don't need the assistance of the world. You don't need their perspectives, their opinions, none of that. You don't need it, because you going to do what you need to do. And to get to that action, we got to stop talking. So I'm going to let you go, fellas. And before you do, if you found this video valuable, I want you to like, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought about it, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So when I drop a new video, you'll be the first one to see it. Get a leg up on the competition. Peace.